it's securing software at its simplest form. So applications are basically ways to interact with information. If you're not familiar with what an application is, just pick up your phone, look at those little squares that you see, all over your phone. Those are all apps, right? App is short for application, and applications are software. And now not all apps necessarily are like that. Like it's supposed to be on your phone for maybe your individual use. There's all kinds of apps for all kinds of purposes, for business to business purposes. There's some apps that are just, companies build for their own internal use. And the reason this matters is this simple fact. Software runs the world, right? Software runs the world. It impacts every aspect of the human condition. Maybe there are some pockets of the human race where technology hasn't really touched yet. You hear these stories all the time about people in these like remote islands who've never even heard of a cell phone or whatever. Like, yeah, sure. You can't make universal statements, but all of commerce, all of the multinational economies, all governments, pretty much everything that has to do with how the world makes money, produces money, generates wealth, builds things, it all runs on software. And that software is built by humans. Humans are fundamentally flawed ourselves, and the work that we do is fundamentally flawed too. And that's not a value judgment. I'm not saying that software developers are like stupid or negligent or anything. Quite the opposite, actually. They're working their butts off to create these beautiful technology, these software systems that run the world. But because it's humans who build software and humans make mistakes, those mistakes become things that attackers can exploit. And that's why application security matters, because the purpose of application security is to find and remediate, to fix those vulnerabilities, and ultimately to prevent them to the best extent that we can. It's less about pure prevention, like it will never happen, and more about how do we reduce the instance of it happening, get quicker at finding it, and effectively fixing it. So that's what application security really is about. And the reason that it matters is, of course, because software runs the world, there are flaws in it, and there needs to be a whole practice making sure those flaws are addressed.